Is there something you're not telling me?
Stay nerdy and get your geek on.
What's up, guys? BC coming back at you guys. Another one of these fantastic little video reviews that I tend to do, and this is gonna be something a bit different. This is gonna be a video on the Master Grade Sinanju Stein. Yep, it officially happened, people. BC has officially dabbled into Gundam. I've actually gotten quite a few more than just him, but we'll get into them at some point. So, with that said, let's start simple with the accessories. He comes with this little trigger finger hand, which I just freaking dropped like a dunce. There we go. And again, my focus is absolute trash. So there we go, there it is, and it's a neat little sculpt. You know, nothing too fancy. He comes with the high beam rifle, and this thing looks awesome. I love the way this thing looks. It's just, I don't know what, it has me speechless. It's just an awesome looking gun. I really dig it. It has this little opening bit. We'll get into what that does in a second. And yeah, there it is. He comes with a bazooka. This is actually pretty cool in of itself as well, but, you know, I do have my minor grievances with it. This obviously is not a minor grievance. This is just, that's just something odd. Well, that's a first. Murphy's Law. It's fine, be that way. This bit back here, for those of you who love to do stop motion stuff, this does slide open, and you can take the missiles out if you so want to, and it all just folds up right in there. But there is something really neat that this can also do, because this piece does in fact pop off. So what you can do with these is you can take these and you can, let's see if I can lock that, there we go. And you can open these, clip them together like that, close this up right here. Normally it closes up better than that, but it all locks together, and then this closes up, and you have this gargantuan friggin' cannon thing. I love this. This is awesome. I really do wish some of the Transformers would do stuff with the weapons like this. This is just cool. He comes with beam sabers. He has two of these. I only built the one for the sake of the video, but we'll see how I feel about building the other one later. But it's literally just a little gray handle, a yellow beam, and a little slide out tab for his standard, more articulated hands, which just folds out like that. Which his articulated hands do in fact have a tab that folds open to allow for him to hold the beam rifle. Not the beam rifle, the beam saber. You know what I meant. As far as gimmicks goes, he does have an opening arm panel right there, which if you take the beam saber part out of the actual beam saber handle, if you don't pop the actual piece off, it's not supposed to do that, you can actually store the beam saber handle in there. And you're gonna have to give me a second for this. There we go. Just closes up, stores right into his arm. As far as holding some of his weapons goes, well, here's the thing. With these articulated hands, he really can't hold this. He can hold the bazooka by itself with this handle, because this does have the flip out tab, but he cannot hold the rifle. And ultimately, the way I'm going to have this displayed, he's going to have the big one. So, obviously, these hands are going to be completely useless for me. But they are still going to be useful for certain other things. But for right now, I'm just going to show off how he's going to hold the giant gun. You take your little gun holding hand and you basically just got to kind of get it split in half, which is usually easier said than done. There we go. And then you just wrap it around the handle of the gun. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Of course, if you're behind the camera, everything is immediately like 10 times more difficult. Because why? But there we go. It's in his hand. And it's got a nice, tight grip. We have to take this hand off, which is easier said than done usually. And then you put this on. And allow me to get him at least somewhat better balanced. There we go. Because as you can see, he can hold that beast straight forward, which is pretty awesome. Let me get him into a pose real quick so we can see how all this actually properly looks. And there we go. Yeah. That looks pretty awesome, if you ask me. And of course, if he's on a turntable, he will topple over. Alright, well, lesson learned there. The last thing he comes with is this shield. As you can see, it's very plain because this whole kit came with stickers. And you guys know me, I'm not a fan of stickers. So, as we can see, I have a very plain shield with a grenade launcher on the bottom, which can indeed come off and do the whole thing with the thing. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this little grenade launcher. I'm really not. It's neat, it's cool. I'm just not personally a fan. With that said, let's get into the actual thing that you guys probably came here for, that being the actual mobile suit itself. To get a general idea of just how big this guy actually is, here's MP Sideswipe, MP Ratchet, and MP Shockwave. Alright, now the actual fun part for the figure as a whole, or I guess in this case kit, is the overall look of it. And this is where I get to get a little bit more hands-on with it. And this has a presence to it. Now, of course, some pieces, it's a model kit. Of course, certain pieces are not going to stay in place, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast. This thing has a presence to it. And that is something about it I really, really enjoy. As you guys have probably known from a lot of my social media posts, I no longer really buy Hasbro Transformers anymore. So this kind of started taking more of a hold. Things that have a stronger display presence. And I'm going to tell you right now, display-wise, this, it's a stunner. Now, one thing I'm going to have to mention here right now. You see these black bits right here? In here. You see there's some little details in there. Those are supposed to be white. Those are stickers. I refuse to use the stickers. I will probably paint these at some point. But until then, they're forced to be solid black. If I ever do decide to use this as a size comparison and I have the white on, you'll see what it looks like then. But until then, here he is, just as is, freshly snapped out of the runners, put together, all that jazz. It's just a stunning looking piece. Absolutely wonderful looking. Now, of course, I did use one sticker, and that one sticker is right there, his eyes. Entirely because I just didn't feel like painting the eyes. So with that said, we're going to go into my next favorite part. That being the articulation. The head has a double ball joint, which allows it to get all this wiggly waggly movement. It can look right and left, go all the way up like that, look all the way down like that, which is pretty good. Shoulders can get the full 360, which will cause them to pop out. Well, let me fix that real quick. Oh, better. So he has a, well, for one, a bunch of moving flaps within that shoulder pad. The arms can go out like that, as well as down like this. He's got the bicep swivel, which does in fact swivel all the way around. We're not going to do that again because I don't feel like popping any more parts off. So he does have the double jointed elbow. He does indeed have a ball jointed wrist, but it's very deeply recessed in there. But what they did with that is there's another ball joint section. Not exactly easy to see, but you'll know what I'm talking about. It's right in there. That's what gives you a lot of the movement here at the wrist, which is pretty awesome. Now, these hands. These hands, let me tell you something about them. These are actually pretty great, but they scared me right out of the runner. So basically, there is a hinge at the tip of every finger, a hinge at the second knuckle, a hinge at the base of the knuckle, as well as a ball joint. So these have a maximum amount of spread, which is always, you know, a very nice thing. But then this thumb is connected to a ball joint, which is also connected to a hinge swivel, so that the actual thumb itself can curl up on this knuckle right here. It's not exactly easy to show, but just trust me, it's there. It's got a ball. There's another ball joint here, and then the tip of the thumb is on another hinge joint. This is a ridiculously well-articulated hand. It's just a shame that these cannot hold the giant gun. Coming to his torso, and this is unfortunately where things kind of hit a bit of a bump in the road. What just fell off? That's probably the handguard. He does get a nice swivel at the waist, but he really doesn't get much of an ab crunch or a back arch. That's kind of a shame, but I'm willing to forgive it given how much else this does have. The hips all have these skirting sections that all flare out to make room for the hip movement. He has a swing joint in there that allows him to kick his leg as high up as possible, which, you know, you're probably going to pop those little skirt sections off if you try to do this. Mine was already coming off there, but you can see he does in fact have that joint right in there. He has a thigh swivel right here, and one of the coolest things ever right here, a double jointed knee that allows him to basically reveal a bunch of mechanical detail. Another thing I wish fully transformable Transformers could actually do. Not a lot can do this, and it's so awesome to see it when it is done. This counts more as a gimmick than anything, but he does have in fact rear leg thrusters that fold out, as well as these bits that will friggin' pop off on you. Wonderful. The ankles. They do have this shifting armor panel to get out of the way for the forward bend movement, which goes about that far. Tilts about down that far. And of course, a piece popped off. That should be relatively easy to get back on. There we go. And he's got the proper ankle tilt, which makes me all sorts of happy. Yep, there we go. I think we're basically done here. You thought BC was a fool! So here is all of the fun stuff on the back. The thruster backpack thing. So basically he's got a bunch of ball joints up in here. Like he's got a set here, he's got some in here, he's got a ball joint connection up on this top flat bit, as well as the fuel tanks itself are on a ball joint, so you can articulate that any way you see fit. And these can actually swing back to create more shoulder movement for the actual mobile suit itself. I think this is honestly one of the coolest aspects of this entire kit. I really dig that. Once again, you thought BC was a fool. There's a little flap that opens up here. I'm not actually going to put it in there, but it can indeed store the bazooka on its, well, you know. Yes, 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 BC is a fool. The shield clips on if he won't fall over. I'm not going to keep fighting with it, but you get the drill. Final thoughts wise, let's get into this. So my biggest negative with this is the fact that it tends to shed its parts. That's kind of what you gotta deal with when it comes to model kits in general. It's just gonna happen. There's no getting around it. I really do wish there was more torso articulation. I really do wish it. I also forgot there is a opening cockpit gimmick, but it's so fiddly that I didn't feel like showing it off. So take that for what you will. Anyways, the articulated hands, while cool, do not hold the weapon that is, in my opinion, the most important one. That being the giant combined gun. I mean, you saw some bits came off on me, but that's really, again, kind of falling back on the whole shedding parts thing, which I can't really complain given what it is. But, you know, whatever. It's still a criticism that I gotta launch at it entirely because of what I do. But do not think even for a second that those are all crippling factors that will cause me to not want to recommend this. The presence this thing has is second to none. It looks wonderful next to any other Gundam that you may or may not have, even though this isn't a Gundam, but I get it. I know it's not. Don't be coming after me. The weaponry is by far the most fun I've had with any figure that I have ever seen in my entire life. The double combination weaponry. I've only seen this one other time, and it was with another kit. It was a kit that I didn't even get to build. And just overall, yeah, say what you will about the lack of the markings. I don't care. This looks amazing. He has that presence that, like, he has that I dare you to mess with me presence. Like, it's just a killer looking figure. So with that said, guys, I think I'm taking up enough of your time. This is BC saying stay tuned and you get your geek on. I'll catch you guys next time with the next review, which I promise will be MP Lyle Convoy.